there is nothing more painful than to be betrayed. Amen? I'm going to say it again. There is nothing more painful than to be betrayed. Amen? But you know what's more painful? To be betrayed by those who you love most. To be betrayed from those who you feel safe with, where you have no walls, where you totally are transparent, and then comes the blade and it cuts right through, and now you're bleeding. How many can relate with a guy named Joseph in Genesis chapter 41? There's a man called Joseph. He has a bunch of brothers, and he's not Raza. He's Jewish, by the way. But there's 12 of them. And at this point, all 12 are not there, but there's a whole lot of brothers. And all the brothers dislike this one Joseph. They despise him. They reject him. He's the outcast. And they are jealous of him. And they can't stand him. And they want him dead. And they plot to kill him. Anybody have brothers plotting to kill them? I hope not. It's bad enough to be rejected. It's bad enough to be despised. But he had his brothers try to murder him, to kill him. They threw him in a ditch. They threw him in a place. And then after they decided, Reuben spoke up and said, man, we can't kill him. He's our brother, bro. So they don't kill him. But they sell him to slavery. And then after they sell him from slavery, a guy buys him. And then he, say Potiphar. Potiphar buys him. He's the chief commander of the army. And he, right there, takes him into his house. Mind you, his brothers despise him. They hurt him. They offended him. And a lot of you are going through the trauma right now of your family that rejected you, of your family that hurt you, of your family that betrayed you. And you're thinking about that. And then Joseph now gets to a safe place. He gets to heaven. And Potiphar basically buys him. And he brings them into his home. And this guy's rich. And he's got a mansion. He's got a beautiful house. And he comes into Potiphar's house. And now that he's at Potiphar's house, he believes he has arrived at a safe place. But guess what happens? Potiphar was a good guy, but his wife wasn't. His wife tries to sleep with Joseph. Tries to seduce him. Say, hey, guy, you're a good-looking guy. Come on over here. And he refuses because he believes in relationships. Say relationships. He believes in the relationship of honoring Potiphar and being a good steward to the things that pertain to Potiphar. And he's taking care of Potiphar. But because he doesn't sleep with her, she lies and says and makes up a story that he abused her. And Joseph takes off, but they throw him in prison. And in prison, Joseph, because he's not a guy that's hurt, he's not a guy who's feeling like, oh my goodness, how could they do this to me? Life is unfair. He doesn't stop cultivating relationships. He cultivates a relationship with the jailkeeper, and he becomes friends with the jailkeeper. And he comes to a place where they put him in charge of everything in the prison. I don't know, are you following me what's happening here? Say it with me, I gotta value relationships. I gotta value relationships. The story doesn't end there. The story ends up where he's in the prison and he has a place where he talks to two of the guys that are in prison, two cellmates, and one of them's the cupbearer of the king, the other one's the baker. And they're both in prison. But when they're there, he tells one of them the dream, and he interprets the dream. He says, okay, you're gonna die. I wouldn't want to be that guy. Okay. I wouldn't want to be. And then the other guy, he goes, hey, you're going to be released. You're going to be free. Don't forget me. So he gets out of jail. And when he gets out of jail, that guy brings him up to the king. And the king then lets him out of prison. Story's long. I'll stop right there. But he's out of prison. And he's about to have two sons. And he's going to give names to his sons. And this is what I want you to follow me. Follow me for just a few more minutes. Just a few more minutes. Two sons. Two sons. He's about to give birth. Mind you, this guy was betrayed. This guy was hated. This guy was considered dead by his family. This guy was betrayed. This guy was accused. wrongfully. And this guy still believes in relationships. Is he made out of rock? How can he still believe in relationships after being betrayed, after being offended, after being rejected? How do you still believe in relationships? How many want to know the secret? There's a secret. Every time when his sons were born, the first son is born, and he goes, you're going to be Manasseh. Say Manasseh. The second son is born, and he's going to be Ephraim. And Ephraim is born. And so every time that he sees Manasseh, he says, Manasseh means the Lord has helped me forget. The Lord has helped me forget. You don't have to say it, but maybe you need to apply it. Maybe you need to apply it in the area that your relationships, they stink. Your relationships are bad. And a lot of it is because you can't forgive. A lot of it is because you can't forget. A lot of it is because you have been devastated by people who have done you wrong. And if you want to say amen, that's okay. Nobody will know we're talking about you.